Yeah, no days off. I can't even take my cape off. My phone died. I didn't even take it to the graveyard. I'm way lost, just like weight loss or like Vegas. And
I need it. I need it. Oh, God. Welcome back to another episode of Them Football Guys. It's your boy, Oluwa Baba Yaga. You already know I got Boogers with me, a.k.a. Boogie, a.k.a. Boogie on the floor, a.k.a. Boogie no hoodie, a.k.a. Boogie with the do-rag, and the Under Armour. That's Under Armour tank on. It's not a tank, it's actually a tee. What they do? I say y'all, he's Black Wolf, by the way. Like, but hey, day 2 of the draft is under our belt. We got a lot more movement going on. Nothing crazy, nothing earth-shattering going on, but you know, football is football at this point. It's the off-season. Let's talk directly. This time we're talking specifically about the fantasy implications, discussing primarily offensive players and offensive players that you can draft. So this one's going to be a little different because we have rounds 2 and 3 from day 2. So, Boogie, let's kick off.
Yeah, for sure. So, day 2 started with the Bills again on the clock. They didn't trade down this time. They got Keon Coleman, wide receiver from Florida State. He comes in. Doesn't actually replace Stephon Diggs, but he definitely will be a weapon used. They got Kincaid. They got Kincaid. They signed Curtis Samuel. They got Shakir there. Coleman fits somewhere in between all of that. He has the talent to become, I believe, at least the number 2 option on that team. Will he? I don't know. He is a big body receiver. He's 6'4". He runs a 4.6. That's kind of slow, but he is, a red zone threat. He can win in a variety of ways, slot, outside. So we'll see how that goes. Because of the landing spot, I like the pick. Will I draft him? If he's in the late enough round, yes, I wouldn't draft him in the first round. But yeah, I do believe Josh Allen gives him a boost in his production and his value. So something to look out for.
At least for the first 8 games.
Yeah. So the second round, pick number 34, Lad McConkey, sorry. Georgia wide receiver. He is a funny guy because he didn't have a lot of stats in college. However, he's one of the better prospects. He was injured. He definitely can win. He can play any position, any receiver position. He's that talented. Great route running, good at separation. Could be a slot receiver. It's a lot of things you can do with him, and he went to the best landing spot possible. At worst, he's the 3rd best receiver on that team. At worst. At best,
that's a pretty bad worst. But I say, I think that's what they were looking for.
So literally, it just all depends.
Quarterback's best friend.
Yeah, I like this. I like the landing spot. I probably have him over Coleman, but it's a toss up. It's what you like in your players.
Hey, you know me.
Yeah. Next up, pick 37 by the Patriots, Jalen Polk, wide receiver from Washington. This is Rome's teammate, his running mate. He was wide receiver 3, and then McMillan got injured. The wide receiver Jalen McMillan, who we'll talk about later, because he got drafted as well. He got hurt, so then he stepped up, was the number 2 wide receiver. He was all production. His upside obviously is lower than Rome's and lower than his teammates. But he does add size to the receiving room. He has some nice physical traits. Some nice stuff he had on film. Just because of the opportunity alone, I like the pick. Like I would draft him off of opportunity alone, but I don't. The player himself, I'm not his biggest fan of the player. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see. If he gets chemistry with Drake May, then none of this matters. But if he doesn't, I don't think he's physically as gifted as the people that went in front of him, if that makes sense. But this is the only pick, one of the only picks that like I really don't not fond of, I guess. But again, we'll see. Um,
I can understand that.
next up, it was a long pause. It was a very, very big run on defensive players after that. But next up, we have pick
Careful,
46 coming
bro.
in. You said what?
To be careful.
Okay. Pick 46, we got the Carolina Panthers who go back to the well of the offensive side of the ball to get Bryce Young some help. Jonathan Brooks, who I had as the best running back in this draft, he tore his ACL in November. They said he should be back in time for the regular season, which starts in September. We will see. He's 6 feet, he's 209, he's shifty, he's speedy. He should be able to start day one. And I think this is exactly what they need because they had a lot of problems last year with running back. They signed Miles Sanders to that big contract and he didn't fulfill it. Chuba took over the starting role halfway through the season. So this time, I think Brooks will be the starter, and I think Chuba will be, the number 2 back. He'll do what he did before. He'll spell him, come in, change the pace. I love the pick. Carolina 2 for 2 for me, but yeah.
Again, I really like the pick actually. I think a big part of Carolina's identity for a while has always been their ground game. Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey, fucking Jonathan Taylor? What's that nigga name? Jonathan Stewart.
Jonathan Williams. It's been their identity.
So now it's like give Bryce Young some breathing room by having the threat of a run game at least. Like so, I like this. It's a great pick.
Yeah, for sure. I like it. We'll see though. Coming in at 52 for the Colts, AD Mitchell, wide receiver, Texas. He came in with a lot of red flags. Scouts were saying that he was hard to coach. He's hard. He doesn't listen. Super talented, but will do his own thing. Pretty much, do George Pickens. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, do George Pickens on and off.
That's why I'm surprised the Steelers didn't take him. I'm actually really shocked the Steelers didn't take him.
No.
They had a chance. They were right there.
You can't have 2 George Pickens on the same team, bro. That's crazy.
The Steelers love problematic people, bro.
But he's gonna come in and he's gonna play well because he has the talent. Now, the problem comes into play is who's gonna put him in line or rein him in. That's the only problem I have with him. So other than that, though, he's definitely got speed. He can jump high. He was clutch, red zone target. He has it all. So like I said, on off the field, just think George Pickens.
If Anthony Richardson could be like Cam Newton in personality and build, then he could probably. It's kind of like Cam Newton and Calvin Benjamin. It's like Calvin Benjamin's woes didn't come until his verbal woes didn't come until after he left the team. So maybe this nigga can hold them down for real. Like Anthony Richardson, go there and be like, bro, shut your ass up, just catch the ball, bro. And then it might be good. Like
it'll definitely be a different dynamic than Pickens and Kenny Pickens. You're right. So
for sure.
So
no respect there.
The next pick was the Commanders. They got a tight end, Ben Snott from Kansas State.
The Commanders were having a really good draft. I'm not gonna lie.
They were definitely a very good pick here. I like him. Reminds me of Mark Andrews, just a slightly more athletic. He has a 40 inch vert. I know Mark Andrews don't have that. Mark Andrews don't have that at all. So he has a reliable hand. He breaks tackles. He's a blocker. This is a really nice pick. He'll be able to learn from Zach Ertz for a year. So that's good. So I really do like this pick a lot. So good for the Commanders, man. Fantasy wise, he probably won't start this year. Next year, definitely, I believe he's a starter. So, however you want to draft,
the great late pick.
Yeah, however you want to draft, this is one of the guys you could draft. Next up, We
I think we had
have
like a run
yeah,
until the.
we had a run on defensive players again. This is the second round, and no more offensive players were drafted. You know, so
That's all right. Like
yeah, it was. I mean, shit. The first round, a defensive player didn't get drafted till pick 16, so I get it. I get it, man.
second day two, locking your defense.
Yeah, the top of the third round, the Jets got wide receiver Curly from Western Kentucky. I love this guy, man. He's raw, he's small, pause, but he's definitely he's
Raw and
definitely
small.
he's definitely
Right.
like prime Randall Cobb or like Debo Samuel's like junior, if that makes sense. Like he's smaller than them and he's less athletic than them, but he's them, if that makes sense. So I
Prime
mean
Randall Cobb is a good one.
if,
You're
if,
not gonna
if
let
you
that.
if you literally so if you can find a way to give him the ball, that's all you need to do. You don't have to send him deep. You don't gotta scheme up stuff for him. Just get the ball in his hands and he'll do the rest. That's the type of guy he is. So
Raw and small, and you don't gotta send them deep.
okay, cool. I get it.
You've gotten your first warning.
I get it. I get it. Cool.
This is letting you know, like.
But yeah, I really do like this pick a lot. Aaron Rodgers, I know he likes it. They got a tackle first round, and they come back and get a receiver here. Really trying to help out Aaron. I commend them for that. Definitely a dark horse. I believe this is a guy you should draft. I like this a lot. So,
Yeah,
we'll see.
anyone who pairs with Aaron Rodgers, get a vote of confidence from me. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So, the next pick is Trey Benson, running back, Arizona. I like this pick a lot too.
It was only a matter of time. James Conner couldn't run for the rest of his life.
Yeah, James Conner is 28. He's 28 going on 29. So I think he'll be 29 when the season starts. So this probably might be his last season starting. I like James Conner. He's done well everywhere he's been, every time he's a starter. So
yep, I've been a hater of him for years.
I've been a prime hater of him for years. So I know more than anybody what he's capable of. So I do like the Trey Benson pick a lot. It'll be a good 1-2 punch while he's there. He's explosive. A lot of big plays, home run speed. It's a good down the line complimentary pick for them. They're having a good draft too, so I like that a lot. So that was pick number 66, Arizona Cardinals. Next up we have the Bengals, pick number 80, wide receiver from Alabama, Jermaine Burton. I like this pick as well. It's all contingent on T. Higgins though. If T. Higgins gets traded, this pick looks even better, and this is a guy you got to grab. It's gonna take some time for him to learn, the schemes and all that, but he has the traits and the skills. And he has hands, he has good speed. He can replace T. Higgins, so it just depends on if they want to sign T. Higgins to a contract or not. How his stock goes in the draft and in fantasy as well. You already know Joe Burrow's his quarterback, so of course you're gonna try to chase that, type of talent.
Yep.
Pick number 82 to the Cardinals, Tip Raymond, tight end from Illinois. This pick is cool. The Cardinals need every offensive weapon they can find because they didn't have any. So if they believe he's a weapon, that's good. I don't think this is a knock on Trey McBride, or I don't think he'll start over Trey McBride, but he definitely is a guy that, he's a balanced tight end. He can block. He has good strength. He has a lot of athletic traits. So, it could be another good combination we see with Trey McBride and Tip that we will see in other places like Oakland. Las Vegas. So only time will tell. This is a guy though. He's lower on my draft just because Trey McBride.
Yeah.
The next pick was Blake Corum, running back from Michigan. A lot of people thought that Chargers were going to draft him because he went to Michigan. Was coached by Harbaugh, but he goes to the Rams. This is another one where it will be a nice 1-2 punch with him and Williams, because I don't think Williams should ever be getting 30 carries a game. So And that they were doing that last year. So this is a guy that will definitely spell him. He's small too. Him and Williams are both small. Funny enough,
Yeah.
him and Williams pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, Williams is 5'8", 199. This guy's 5'8", 209. So they're both small, bro. But yeah, he's instinctive. He's tough. He's not that fast, but you know, he definitely knows
That's
how
like,
to.
so they got Williams for.
Literally, yeah. So they're pretty much the same players, just you know, combination. Next pick, wide receiver Roman Wilson from Michigan to the Steelers. I really like this pick a lot. Steelers know what they're doing with the receiver position.
I was about to say, I don't even got to question it because it's the Steelers.
Literally, they traded away Dante Johnson to the Cardinals. I think Wilson will come in and be a slot receiver from day one. He has good rate while running, can separate. George Pickens is going to be on the outside. Great pick, man. Another value pick that if you want to draft somebody who can compete now in your starting lineup on fantasy, I would definitely take consideration this guy. Packers take Marshawn Lloyd, running back from USC, at pick number 88. This one, I had him as my definitely my top 5 running backs. If I remember correctly, he was third behind Brooks and Benson. So, talent-wise, this is a great pick. Actual fantasy-wise,
location-wise,
yeah, he has Jacobs above in front of him. AJ Dillon's going to be the goal line back. So the first year he's cooked unless somebody's getting injured. But the second year, third year, because AJ Dillon's on his 1-year contract, I believe that he could have in the future some value to him. He could.
So his draft stock should be pretty low at this point. Because
his draft stock should be pretty low at this point. If you're thinking big picture and you're a guy who has a deep roster, you probably will take Lloyd because he's just more talented than a lot of running backs in this draft. No matter if he's not going to get an opportunity to show it, like he'll soon. His situation
literally looks like Roshan's.
Yeah, he's better than Roshan though, but I get that though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the same thing. It's pretty much it.
It depends on how patient. Literally depends on how patient you want to be. Like,
yeah,
it could be worse.
It could be worse. You're right. So we'll see. Pick number 92, the Bucks got a wide receiver, Jalen McMillan. So he can play slot or outside. This one's a funny one though because he's really good. So good, so much so that like. This leads me to believe that after Mike Evans' contract is up that he just signed, he won't re-sign again. Or Trey Palmer is no longer the wide receiver 3, and this guy now is wide receiver 3. One of those two is going to happen. Mike Evans has a 2-year deal, so it'll be up in 2 years. So either they just drafted his replacement, or they drafted their number 3 wide receiver, and Trey Palmer now is wide receiver 4. We'll see. But either way, I like the talent there. Yeah, the talent's there. The opportunities won't be there early on, but the talent is there. So there's another guy, if you're a big picture type of guy, I would draft him because his stock will be low. He's not going to go in the first 2 rounds. So you definitely could draft him and just keep him on your team. So with the last pick of the 3rd round, last offensive weapon that gets drafted is Luke McCaffrey to the Washington Commanders at pick 100 from Rice. Yes, this is Christian McCaffrey's brother. Yes, this is Ed McCaffrey's son. So he has football lineage with him. He's football royalty. He definitely is a former quarterback from high school and college, but he switched to receiver. That's how athletic he was. He has football IQ. He has good hands, production. You know, he definitely could work out of the slot. And this is what they needed. When Curtis Samuel left, this is what they needed. And if Dalton's not careful, man, he's gonna be the number 2 receiver. So Dalton gotta turn up because that's how good Luke could be. He's not, the best. He's not the most athletic, but he's good at everything. So
because we saw Curtis Samuel take the number 2 spot already. Curtis Samuel Loki took the number 1 spot before he left, but. So it's like different quarterback, different system, but it's like they have to be careful of Luke.
Yeah, it's
He's a sneaky one for sure. I think he's someone that if you have the opportunity and you don't know who else to take off the board, you might want to snatch and grab.
not for sure. For sure. So that's all the picks. Do you have any comments, concerns, or do you have your favorite pick and your least favorite pick that you want to add to this? Why?
I want to say my favorite pick. Funny enough, it's probably the running back signing. I have a thing for running backs and where they land, and I feel like between the Cardinals and Brooks, I think actually my favorite pick is probably the Panthers. Signing that running back, I think it really locks in a picture of their identity going forward. First running back off the board, best running back off the board. You literally wet the bed with Miles Sanders, and rather than even running the experiment back because you paid him, you go ahead and sign someone better to really open that up. So I feel like they're giving Bryce the best opportunity. I think signing a running back really actually opens up a lot of more players than we might think for the Panthers, and makes them a more viable team out of that. So I love that, and that's a great place to run too. I don't think I've ever seen a running back except for Miles Sanders fail with the Panthers.
Yeah, now you'd be correct. You'd be correct.
What you got?
No, so I like that pick a lot. I really like the McConkey pick with the Chargers. I just like the spot. I like the player. It's just like the perfect storm of things happening right there. I'm just apprehensive about the Polk pick. The need is there. I just don't like the capital that was used with Polk because you could have waited, and I don't like the player himself. Like I don't think he can be a number one receiver. I could be wrong though, but right now he's their number one receiver. So,
so you feel like they should have, out of all the receivers that went afterwards, which was like what, probably like 4. I think Moore went the third.
He definitely could have got AD Mitchell for sure. 100%. That would have made more sense. He's more of the guy that they needed in that position. Or they could have drafted his teammate McMillan. McMillan's a better player than him. So, they could have drafted his teammate. It would have made more sense.
Who do they even have left? Who do they have? Who do they currently have on their roster that makes them feel like
they got Demario Douglas.
Still,
they got Juju.
Still? Okay.
They got Kevin Bourne. So,
I get it. New receiver, a new quarterback can bring these people to life. We'll see. See how that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Any closing statements?
It was a nice day 2. Day 2 was more fun than day 1 because I feel like that's where championships are made in fantasy and in real life. Second and third rounds where I know I make my bread and butter in fantasies as opposed to the first round. So I think this is more so what you should be paying attention to more because this is where the real gems go, and they're cheaper. So you don't have to trade with your league mates to try to get a first round pick or get a top 3 pick. You can just hold on to your pick and just pick the right one that you want. And don't be afraid to, when you get into the later rounds, don't be afraid to reach. Don't be afraid to reach. In the first round, that's where it's weird to reach in the first round. But once you get in the later rounds, man, a reach.
Take what you want.
Is it really a reach? You know what I mean? Is it really a reach if you're drafting somebody in the 4th or the 3rd? Not really.
Who can Nakua them?
Yeah. Like, it don't matter, bro. So just draft who you like when you get to those type of rounds.
Okay. Words of wisdom from Black Woj.
Yeah.
But thank y'all for tuning in, bro. Like and subscribe. It's a pretty short video, not that short, but short enough video. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, share this shit with your friends. Make us one of your sources. We on Apple Music and Spotify. We obviously on YouTube. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Shoot us a message. Call us bitch ass niggas. Tell us you fuck with us. It is what it is. Let's interact with us somehow. Let us know what content you want to see from us. We got a lot more coming to y'all soon. When the season starts, we're gonna go crazy. Absolutely bonkers. Don't be late. We got betting podcasts. We got weekly updates, and we got some new things coming soon that I'm not really ready to announce. But we just be on the lookout for that. But for now, them football guys, I think we out of here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm repping this low.